Hey guys, we took a trip to Columbus, Ohio, actually south of Columbus, Ohio, to visit Investment Joy, an amazing personality on YouTube, to visit his car washes, to visit his laundromat, to visit a park, an RV park that he's basically getting rid of. Most important thing that I did, I think, in Columbus, Ohio, was actually visit some Mennonite stores. Did you know what a Mennonite is? You don't know what a Mennonite is? I didn't know either. Watch this video, you guys will learn all these things, plus you'll get to see us hanging out with our community. So everybody that's in Columbus, Ohio, came out to the meetup, thank you guys so much. If you guys ever want to see where I'm going to be, what meetups we're holding in the Subto and Gator communities, go to whereispace.com. It's just a little Google sheet that shows where I'm going, but it's a great way for you to come out and connect. Now, Brandon, thank you so much for having us out because we had a blast. In this video today, we're going to be talking about your car wash and how much money it makes and how you're basically the mayor of your little town in Ohio. So enjoy the video. Jamil has a background in car washes. His dad,
my dad owned and operated one my entire young life, actually. Wow. And so I grew up in a car wash family, and it was, you know, obviously we were able to pay the bills, life was good, but it was one of the most stressful upbringings that we ever had because the stuff would break all the time. We had a competitor that popped up right off the freeway.
Come with me.
Yeah.
So like when you guys had a car wash, what kind of equipment did it have?
So we were cars and trucks.
Cars and trucks. Okay.
So the bays were very
people
high.
coming through.
Very high. They were all self-washed. You'd have the wands with the machine generators, and so, you know, things would constantly be breaking. It was a machine shop just like this, man, but it was much bigger. Sound I'll never forget that sound, man. This is exactly what the sound I would hear in my dad's truck wash constantly.
What is that? Pumping soap?
Pumping. Yeah.
That's a flow jet pump. If you go to McDonald's or Wendy's or any restaurant and you get close, it's the exact same thing. It's just a fluid handler, and it will do drinks. It'll do a lot of bars use flow jets. They're like the universal pump for everything.
What's the benefit of a car wash? Why are they great?
The big thing is, like, for this one,
because this one seems small, so I don't know anything about car washes. Yeah. You're gonna have to educate me. Okay, I look at this and I'm like, how does this thing make any money?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are 13,000 customers in a town of 13,000 people. It's just based on our traffic patterns. Everybody needs a house to live.
Okay, so if you're gonna buy a car wash, let's start from like somebody watching this right now. Are you gonna go to a big city or small city?
I'm gonna go wherever a deal makes sense that I can pencil it in.
Okay.
I know a couple guys that they have car washes out in the middle of nowhere, and they're the only outfit in town. They're doing $250,000 top line revenue, and that's in a town of 1,000 people.
So top line yearly.
Yeah, top line yearly. Bottom line's about a third of that. So they're doing about 100K a year net.
So you're making $8,000 a month on one location net. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and if you think about what kind of real estate deals that you could make a similar margin on in an area like that, they're going to have $60,000, $70,000 houses.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to. I mean, you in an area like that I see.
You'll have to have 40 houses.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of houses to get.
Or you'll have to have 100 plex.
Yeah.
Basically, you got to have 100 units to make about $8,000 a month net, somewhere around there. So you get one car wash, you're making $8,000.
Yeah. And getting into that deal is probably significantly less money and easier as well, I would imagine.
It's going to be, to me, it's going to be similar. It's the same it's the same procedures that you guys use on your seller finance Subto deals. You build a system, you build a model, you implement the model for going out and getting those levels of deals. It's like you guys, I'm sure, hear the same thing all day that I do. No one in their right mind would ever seller finance a place. But you know what seller finance?
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you guys know what seller finance?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Seller finance it.
Most businesses are. That's the thing that a lot of people understand is like 70% of business transactions have seller finance components involved. You know, it's interesting, like when we go through all of our deals, people will go, well, where did you find your deal, right? Where did you find your deal? I go, every deal seems like it comes from a different location. It's like sometimes broker outreach, sometimes direct to seller, sometimes I saw a sign on the side of the road. It's like they come from everywhere. Right. Where did this one come from?
This one came from a pastor in Circleville here in town. He's wanting to find another way to make income passively. And he ran across this one and he said, well, this isn't the kind of passive money I'd like.
Yeah, because it requires work.
Yeah, there's self-storage behind here that we acquired with it.
So I just bought an RV park in Montana.
Oh gosh.
And it got, dude, it's so great. I'm so happy with it. But it came with 80 self-storage units.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, bonus. I didn't even know it was part of the acquisition. Yeah. And all the RV people are using the self-storage stuff. It's so great. Are you making more money on the car wash or on the self-storage?
Car wash by far, but the self-storage money is probably the easiest money that exists in the world, so long as you have a process for it. Because the old process was show up to the car wash, sign your lease agreement, mail us a check every month. Mom's going to make sure that you pay your rent on time, and if you don't, we send you to the attorney in town. That was their business process.
Okay.
And if you're, 50, 60 years old, that's the business process that works for you. It's okay.
Yeah.
Our
a lot
business,
of friction.
Yeah, our business process is go on the website, pick a storage locker, sign your lease online, pay online, put your own lock on. You don't pay, we send you to, there's a firm in Zanesville, Ohio, Eastern Ohio. They do 90% of the set out and eviction paperwork for you, mostly for free, because in the state of Ohio, we're a lien seizure state, meaning you put a lien against the property in it, you auction it off to get occupancy back of your storage unit.
And they would collect their fees that
They
way.
collect all their fees. They've set up a 20% buyer premium. As the owner of the storage facility, they don't charge anything. So that's,
we were just talking about there's so many different ways to make money in this world, and a lot of them you don't even think about. That's a great business model.
It is. And the guys that I run into, they're even better. They have self-storage kiosks, and either they have like a super vending machine that sells you the lock for your storage unit for $20 per clip on a storage vending machine, or the really better play, but we don't do it here. It doesn't make sense at 36 units. It makes sense. Might even not make sense at 80 units, depending on how passive you want it to make. But there's a $25,000 kiosk that you can put at the front gate of your storage facility, gate up, gate down, uses RFID or NFC, communications on your phone, and then it runs everything off of a payment kiosk.
So there's literally no people involved?
No, there's no one involved in the whole entire process unless on the legal front.
So your pastor came to you, or you went to the pastor?
Pastor knew that I was looking for properties. He knew that we were looking at a car wash that they have now tore down way south here. It's not that car wash over there. That's the car wash you're looking at right now.
Oh, dang. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Laundromat plus a car wash.
You own that one?
No, not yet. Nah.
Follow up, baby. The deal's in the follow up.
It's 5 acres of prime real estate. As it is right now, I've looked at all the mechanicals. All the mechanicals are trashed. Everything needs tore down, stripped to the studs. And it's a question of, would it be
Rebuild?
better to restore what's there? Or should I go to a more apt location and just build brand new? And I'm leaning towards the brand new. Seller finance deal, 10,500 square feet here in town.
Another car wash?
No, it was just a blank commercial space.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
I don't like the parking situation. We'll go to my car wash later today. I don't like my parking situation at the car wash. Parking situations here is great. We can stack up 6 cars into the automatic bay. I can stack 4 cars in for the self-serve bays. Hot day, like we're hopping on, firing on all cylinders. I can have a total of 18 customers in line here, and they'll wait for it.
And what does a hopping day bring in?
Best hopping day is probably $1,500 to $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, you just think about how anybody can do this. I'm not quoting a number that's like secret because my business partner's over there and he'll come and punch me in the face. You go, and it's what I do when I look at businesses to buy, or I want to say, and what's the unit economics of this deal? Well, we go and look at our payment station. The bottom wash is 10, the top wash is 18. So median ticket size of 14. I'll sit here and I'll say, I'll go on Google reviews and I'll look, what's the absolute best time for this business? I'll sit in the parking lot of the business and I'll say, how many cars can this machine feed? And if it's stacked up and a car's feeding in as quickly as it can, I'll buy a car wash off my competitor. Their cycle time's 5 minutes. So I can have a top line of 12 cars per hour, $14 median ticket size. That's what, $180 in an hour. So if I get on Google reviews or I find out some other system to track their performance at a distance, then I can say, okay, their top line revenue is going to be 180 on the automatic. Self-service bays, they're a lot more lossy with their time because people load in, they load out, they towel dry, things like that. So the most a location like this could ever make $250 an hour. But then you go and you figure out top of days, when's the weather good, and then more or less you can kind of come up with your own business model.
Do you guys get snow here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have salt season. It's great.
Oh, that's great for you guys.
Wash all
Yeah.
the time 'cause the
Yeah.
vehicles
Your covers are,
okay. So a deal like this, right? Seller finance, what did you need to get in, and what's your monthly debt service and versus your cash flow?
It was practically nothing to get into it. I'm trying to figure out what I can say and can't say because my business partner doesn't like me getting gushy on the numbers.
Understood.
Okay, so let's go to your pastor, because everybody got to understand the pain.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people, again, they're going to say, there's no way you can get a car wash for no money down. You're wrong. We're standing here.
Yeah.
But what was the pain? What was he trying to get out of? He
So
obviously,
the pastor
it wasn't as passive as he thought.
The pastor gave me the deal. So you asked how the deal came about. A
So was
pastor
it
called
his?
Me. He's talked to every single business owner in this town.
Because they're all confessing their sins or what?
No, he's a pastor that can't make any money pastoring, which is pretty common. So he gets in business.
Smart.
And he'll go to a rundown factory and he'll buy every single machine in the factory and he'll flip it on eBay. That's like his normal gig, but it's a lot of work to go to Grand Rapids or some town in Iowa in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a cornfield, and go and pack up an entire factory, bring it here to town. So he wanted something that's more passive. Looked at this and it's all mechanical. My guy, Aaron, my business partner, and Tony, our maintenance guy, they're in the mechanical room trying to find a electrical short. There's an electrical gremlin. Some piece of wiring is shorted out and none of the control systems are telling me what the short is. So they're trying. So there's an electrical short that's intermittent and it's shutting the whole entire automatic car wash bay down. So with that, we don't know what it is. It's just shutting down the GFCI. And that's it.
So the pastor finds it as an opportunity. He goes, this is not as passive as I thought.
Yeah, it needs a lot of work.
But I know a guy that's looking for business. And he teased the opportunity up for you.
He said, his big deal is if we ever sell the self-storage facility, sell it to him, which,
Did he take a fee in signing the deal to you? Just normally though, would that be?
Well, normally, yeah.
Did he just not know that was an opportunity for him?
Oh, no, he knew it was an opportunity. He just likes it. It's a nice thing about living in a small town, Ohio. People give you deals all the time just because they don't want to see it go to a PE fund or, some big investor. They want to see somebody that's going to reinvest. Stay local, reinvest in the business, actually cares about the community.
Right.
Like I said, when you guys showed up, I'll never leave. It's just I like the area too much. I can buy.
You're basically the mayor now, bro. You're going to own half this whole city.
I joke about this, but why would I need to be the mayor when I own the newspaper?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so if there's a problem, I know city council pretty well, and they're easy to work with. You guys like Columbus, and things are popping up there. I never want to deal with the building department up there.
Yeah, bigger cities always have nightmare situations.
What's the population of this town?
13,000.
13,000.
You couldn't tell by how many corn rows there were and all that. I calculated. I did a corn calculation. I was like, yeah, there's about 13,000 people here. So this deal over here, that car wash, has 50 acres behind it?
5 acres behind it.
5 acres, okay.
So the land value itself, this land right here is probably worth, commercial, medium commercial, it's worth about $100,000.
An acre?
An acre. So the dirt's worth $500,000. Okay. Then they've got a structure on it, and I know they wouldn't be happy if I told you guys the revenue numbers. But the revenue numbers are they're all right. That laundromat over there should be doing $500,000 a year top line revenue. It's not even doing anywhere close to it. They've got a dry cleaner in there. Should be doing $100,000 a year top line. It's not doing.
So what is the cause of that? You think it's just because more people are having laundry in their homes? Are they just bad at marketing? Is it?
Yeah, they've got a sign out in front of it.
That's it's the same. It's the same thing with the self-storage back here that's saying, hey, send your check in.
Yeah.
Right.
Mail your check, get an application from the mailbox. If you were doing business 30 years ago, you would say, oh, I know the family that owns this. 30 years ago, business was done by the yellow pages and the phone book. I know the family that owns this business, or I just happened to drive by it. For this facility, I know that 1,000 people Google us a month on just Google Maps. I have no clue what Apple does, but Google, you can pull the data from it real easy. 1,000 people a month look for a car wash here in town, and we're in the top 3 listing. That's how I do customer acquisition. We also, we sponsor kids.
So is that SEO, or are you paying for Google, or are you paying
SEO.
Ads?
It's SEO.
Okay.
We haven't dipped into ads yet.
You don't need to, probably.
I don't think so. We're number 2.
In a small town, you probably don't have hyper sophisticated people that are out beating you on SEO anyway.
No.
You might even go talk to them about SEO, and they go, what's SEO?
Yeah. Well, the problem is I'm friends with several car wash operators in Columbus. They don't know about it either. I know
they're just thinking location's going to bring in eyeballs.
I know a guy that's doing almost $1 million top line revenue in a car wash in good neighborhood of Columbus, great operation. And you talk to him about SEO, doesn't have a website, doesn't have a Facebook presence, but he has the prime spot and he is awesome on branding and signage. SEO, online advertising, not great in any way, shape, or form, but when it comes out to actual personal branding, quality of the product, and just the fact he bought in a high traffic area, he does way more money than I do.
Okay, so your pastor teased this deal up to you. Mm-hmm. Hey, if you're a pastor on YouTube, you should have charged this guy an assignment fee. I would have paid somebody 20, 50 grand for something like this.
I would have, but he was in a situation. You find a self-storage facility, a factory, anywhere that I can move my operation to, give me the deal.
Put in a favor with one of the
Okay.
most, because you're doing
With
a
the
lot of
mayor.
these transactions
With the mayor.
with the mayor
Yeah.
in here. So
Yeah.
he banked a good favor there. That makes
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
think
sense.
so. And we've talked about our self-storage facility, and
He
it's-
wants to put his equipment in there,
Yeah.
house it while he's waiting to sell
Yeah.
it. That's a good
I'd love
strategy.
to do a video with that guy, but he won't. Does not want to be on the internet at all.
Did you split that and sell and parcel it off to him?
We've already parceled it off. We went through that process with the city. The thing is, over the last 2 years, his business with eBay sales has grown so dramatically
That they're
he
moving too
doesn't
fast.
need the 3,600 square foot, 4,000 square foot storage facility behind me. He needs 40,000.
Man, that would be one of the coolest videos you could do as a treasure hunt. He's like a treasure hunter. The seller that was teed up to you from the pastor, was he retiring? What was his
He's
retired
wanting to get
landlord?
out of it. This was his 9-to-5 job. And it's hard to run a business as a 9-to-5 job because you have the perspective of the guy that's on the boots on the ground dealing with the trash all day.
dad.
And it's like your dad, he probably came to a crossroads like we had in the business right after we bought it. There's 2 machines to replace our $250,000 a piece. Does it make sense for me to get a loan? Because, this car wash, it doesn't make enough money. Does it make sense for me as the current owner of the business to get $500,000 worth of debt service to replace 2 machines? And for them, it's a speculative investment. Yeah, you're going to make more money on new machines. You're going to decrease your time investment, but it's also a gamble.
Yeah.
And your average 9-to-5 employee, which a lot of people that run a business like this, they see themselves in the same way a 9-to-5 employee is. Would you risk?
No.
Would you take that risk for your job?
No,
one
their
would.
risk aversion is the reason why they're not you and me.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's risk aversion, and you put yourself in the former operator's shoes. It makes sense. It's a logical choice
For their mindset.
for your mindset, if that's what you've been born raised to do.
Honestly, I think that's one of the most valuable lessons that somebody can learn about acquiring these types of things is understanding that the person that you're going to buy from has a completely different mindset than you, and that they go, well, why would they do this? One, they don't want to be me. They wanted to quit their job and have nobody telling them what to do. They wanted to still have a job without a boss.
Yeah.
And so they just traded one job for another job. And so when it came time for a big financial commitment, they're like, this job has ran its course. I'm gonna go find something else. I don't want to go get the loan, which is now more risk than I'm willing to take on. And that's a gamble. Again, would I take a gamble for my job? Most 9-to-5 mentality people will not.
And then it comes to those things. That's how you can package seller finance deals.
Yeah, because you could go, I'll give you your number. Let's figure this out. How can you avoid capital gains? Do you know what he bought it for originally?
Nothing. His dad was the one that built the location originally.
Okay, got it. So this even indicates more pain of like, his motivation was like, I don't want to give the thing away. And he'd probably get just lowballed with everybody else.
I'm sure he did. Because he had recently had a commercial appraisal, and the commercial appraisal wasn't great. It was okay. But we offered them more money with seller financing, with interest and all that stuff than he would have got for a cash sale.
Yeah, so he's happy, and now he's got passive income. He's got true passive income coming in now because you.
Yeah.
And you're a safe bet because look at you.
And how long does that deal last? Is there an opportunity for you to take it out, or would you
I
just
can
keep it in
repay. I can
place?
repay it at any time, but it's a 20-year note. So it's one of those things where, for me as a financial guy, makes a lot of sense. And then he's got security for the next 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, if you pass away or default, he just gets the thing back, and you've already gotten the new equipment.
Yeah.
You've been taking care of it. You've improved it. You've got your SEO. That's the safest bet on the planet for him.
I think so. And I think that we expressed his risk profile on the business well enough, sufficiently enough. So now, these are the first car washes I've owned, because we bought 2 at the same time from the same guy. So 2 car washes, 1 self-storage facility, and 1 buy. And it's just one of those things where it's a new business. I took on a business partner in a capacity I've never had before, because you see all the mechanical stuff. You know the sound of a flow jet pump. It's real familiar. I don't have the time to do that, so I wanted to take on a partner that has that background.
And wants to do that.
And wants to do that. Aaron's right over there. And it's nice for me as an investor to have a business partner like that will show up at midnight.
Well, you're running an actual business, right? I mean, most people like this guy that was running it before, that was part hobby, part job, tinkering around. And instead of with his extra time that he no longer has to have a job, just thinking about the mindset of this stuff, with his spare time, he's not going out and saying, all right, how do I scale? How do I get people to replace me so I can go buy more? That's not the mindset.
Was his basic income that he was taking home pretty much what he was getting from you in the seller finance deal?
He took a hit on it. He definitely took a hit on it, but it wasn't.
But it doesn't require his time or energy or any stress.
Yeah, and I think the big risk aversion is $500,000 in equipment. You've run this thing, you have minimal personal investment in it, minimal debt, practically no debt service. And then it's immediately $500,000 if you can get approved. And it's just a lot of risk. Later, we're gonna go down to the trailer park and it's the exact same story all over again. But in that, I can say whatever I want to about the trailer park because we're in contract on it, selling it. I acquired it as a partial seller finance deal. It's been a miserable nightmare. We're still making money on it with the new price, but it's a situation, it's the exact same pain point. Lady in Oregon owned it, kind of just mentally checked out of it. Every drug dealer in Southern Ohio lives at the trailer park. Oh, wow. They steal a McDonald's drive-through window, or maybe a Wendy's or an Arby's. They install a drive-through window in their trailer to sell drugs.
And that's how they're selling drugs.
Yeah.
I bought a mobile home park, 85 units on 0% seller finance 3 years ago, and it was cash flowing net. I mean, forget about the pay down. The pay down was hammering hard, but the cash flow is like $7,500 a month net.
Yeah.
I have not taken a penny out of that park in 3 years because all I'm doing is just pouring money in.
Yeah.
Getting tenants out 1 month, bad tenant, get a new tenant in, fix the trailer. Yeah. I was at one point, I was seller financing the trailers to some of my residents, and that seems like a great idea because you're like, okay, I'm gonna offload the maintenance.
Yeah.
And it is a great idea. The amazing thing about it is for some reason, I've seller financed 3 of the 85. They've given me $5,000 deposits on their seller finance of their trailer, and then 3 months later, they're gone.
Yeah. I've heard that that's a play. Do they require a license for that?
No. You mean for like Dodd-Frank, by being a bank?
Yeah.
No, you don't need a license for that, no.
State of Ohio went in after Dodd-Frank was passed and they said they want you to get a financial license for
Well, you could use an RMLO, you could use a loan originator and have them do it.
But they would never qualify.
Well, they could qualify.
No, you set the parameters.
You set the parameters. They don't tell you yes or no. An RMLO doesn't tell you yes or no. They say, here's this person's ability to pay, now you have to make a decision. But they at least underwrite the person. And if it's like so egregious, you just know, like this person has never had a job, they have no ability to pay, and you then seller finance, then you're gonna get in some trouble.
But they got this great drive-through window.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot. Those mobile home parks.
It's a pain point, and it's like acquiring it on the financial side. I expected $25,000 a month top line revenue.
Yeah.
Net 17.5, and we can't even get close to there. So now,
is it because you're pouring money into the repairs and evictions, like the same thing I'm doing?
And we're at that point where I look at the income threshold and I say, oh, we brought in $12,000 this month on the park. How much of that should go back into the park? Well, 100% of it.
$11,780.
Now we're at almost 4 years into this park, and I've put every penny back in.
Yeah, bro, this is so interesting.
What's my growth trajectory? If my growth trajectory was linear or logarithmic and it was great, I'd be thrilled with it. But it's like this. It's like 3 steps forward, 2.5 steps backward.
Are the 2.5 steps back primarily evictions?
It's evictions and
problem tenants that cause issues?
It's evictions, but let's the buck stops with me. It's my fault for not managing the project or electing a competent manager for the trailer park. Not talking about you, Tony. I'm talking about my trailer park. He's leaving. Oh gosh. Yeah, we do need to do an Instagram photo.